Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. We're here at 9th Cloud Expo, Silicon Valley, as is Joe Seibel, which must mean Hexagrid are with me on the bench.
Yes.
Yes, he says. We're off to the races. Hexagrid, I'm doing the A to Z of cloud computing in my head. I get to H and I'm thinking, I don't know enough about Hexagrid. But look, I've got Joe on my stall. He can tell us. Place Hexagrid in space and time. Joseph?
Sure. So Hexagrid is a software company that enables clouds. So whether it's a private cloud for an enterprise trying to build something in-house, or a telecom or a data center provider that's trying to build some type of hosted cloud solution, whether it be private hosted clouds or just a public cloud solution in general, we kind of have that fabric that builds the cloud from the ground up.
And it kind of begs the question, doesn't it? It builds the fabric from the ground up, but I've still got to want it. So who am I? Who would be a typical customer engaging with Hexagrid? Any company that really that has IT infrastructure, right? It's all about firing on resources. It's very similar to Amazon. So that's what we do, is we can give you all the functionalities of an Amazon or the larger public clouds that people are trying to move over to, but we can give it to you and make it your own. So that's where it goes to that telecom that wants to build a cloud and maybe compete with Amazon, or to an enterprise that wants all those efficiencies, but they have proprietary data and they want to keep it in-house. So we give them the exact same functionality. How intimate is the engagement, Joe? If I now, we're doing business together, how closely do you have to know my business to be able to help me well?
Not a whole lot, as long as I know that you use IT infrastructure. I generally know that I can help you, because I can take the burden away from all the pains that you have today of how do we keep our infrastructure up and running? How do we keep the lights up and going? I can get you to that point where you actually concentrate on the applications, which is what the business is all about. That's what actually brings you value. So as long as I know you're a business and you're trying to sell something and you have IT infrastructure, then I can generally find it.
How about I'm going to make it even more complicated now, because I'm an ambitious CEO and I've got global visions. What about the physics of that? How can you help me with that? I want to do stuff in Tokyo, dude, and Dubai, and of course Europe. And how are you going to help me?
Okay. We'll help you build clouds in all those different areas. I can connect you with data center partners that are using our platform, and you can do private hosted clouds in all the different regions that you want to have. Or you could take it in and do a centralized type of management where you put it all in one spot and manage it from there.
Will you help advise me if I'm in two minds as to do the one or the other?
Yeah, generally it's more about your application and what those needs are. So do you have latency issues? So do we need to have something that's near where you're at, or does latency even have a factor in what you're doing?
Does Hexagrid really have to even market itself? In all reality, everybody's moving to the cloud, right? You just got to make sure you get your share of the pie, or do you also have to evangelize around it in case people move too late and they're out of business?
Yeah, you obviously need to market and make sure that people know who Hexagrid is, but you're absolutely right. People are moving to the cloud. People are wanting that functionality, wanting to become more flexible, and wanting to get to the days back when technology actually did something for the business and enabled the business and wasn't a pain.
Are there barriers, Joe? Are there human beings sitting in there between that vision that we've just talked about and share and the reality? Are there like server huggers out there? We know who you are.
Yeah, of course. There's always the politics within the organization and the reluctance to learn new things and figure out how to do things better, and wanting to go play golf with your buddy that's been selling you something for 20 years. So you're always going to have that there. But
they'll see the error of their way shortly, or they'll probably, of course, be fired. So
exactly.
That will help with their visionary process. What does the future hold? Things are going well for Hexagrid. Lots of name recognition. How tough a fight is it against others, or is it just simply such a huge market now that everybody gets to actually do quite nicely?
Right now the market's huge. There's only so many players that can do something similar to what Hexagrid does. So we don't
run into too many cases where we have a bake-off, which I find to be very surprising. But you know, I do think as the market matures and we continue down the path, you know, we'll start running into competitors. But right now,
I think it's pretty likely.
Right now, it's just an open field. So
open field. That's why he's looking so relaxed. Let's say I go to hexagrid.com because I saw this interview out on the World Wide Web, and I thought, my God, they seem confident in what they do. What would I see? Where should I go?
You'd learn a little bit about the product, our VX data center platform, and our new platform, which is the Unobi product, which is a turnkey solution. It comes with certified hardware. You don't need a SAN anymore. It's literally a turnkey, just plug in the box and it works, and you have all the self-service provisioning and get you off to the races. So you get a little product knowledge and maybe learn about what we do.
And become a Hexagrid convert. Thanks so much for talking with us. Joe Seibel and Hexagrid. Hope we'll see you in June, by the way. June, New York, 10th Cloud Expo by then. Thank you for joining us here, Joe, in Santa Clara, and thank you for following along out there on the World Wide Web.